We're talking awards. Most valuable player. Leigh, get us started. Who's your MVP pick for the 2020-21 season?
Before I get to that, I just want to say Giannis has won the last 2 in a row. And winning 2 in a row is not uncommon. In recent history, Steph's done it. LeBron did it twice. Steve Nash, Duncan, Michael, and Magic have all done it. But to go back to 1984, 85, 86 as the last person to win 3 in a row, I bet you guys can guess who that was.
He was a very streaky shooter, according to Lee Ellis.
He was a streaky shooter. Larry Bird, that's right. So Giannis, I think he's in a great position to win 3 in a row. I think his numbers are going to be identical to last year. I think the Bucks' record is going to be very, very strong as well, probably the best in the Eastern Conference. But I think one thing's going against Giannis this year, and I think the fact that his team's flamed out in the playoffs the last couple of seasons, I think that counts against him. I think people are like, you have to sort of do something super, super impressive this year to win us back to voting for that. And so I don't think he wins it this year. I'm going with Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis is going to do it for a couple of reasons here. First off, he's awesome. The numbers are going to be...
Good reason.
The numbers are going to be, 26 and 12, couple of blocks a game. He could be the MVP and defensive player. I know that was in the conversation last year, and Giannis actually did that, and I think Davis could do that. I think the Lakers, we talked a little bit about them yesterday. I think that they do have the best seed maybe in the entire league this year. I think even if they're going not even at full speed, I think they still win 50 to 55 games out of course, only 72 this year. And Davis is just going to stand out. He's just going to be he's young. He's in his prime right now. He's got that championship confidence. So I think that is what's going to happen. Even if he sits out a couple of games, I just think he's going to almost get that narrative this year of he was awesome last year. He nearly won it last year as well. So he's going to have that sort of bump this year. And if the Lakers are just dominant from the start, which I expect them to be, I think obviously LeBron's going to be fantastic as well. But I think Davis just sort of is going to stand out a lot more this year and get that sort of attention from the media. So, I think Giannis, like I say, is going to be fantastic and put up similar numbers. But I think Davis sort of it moves towards him this year because the Lakers are going to be so good and dominant. And he's just going to get a lot of the attention.
But can a guy that's playing alongside LeBron James win MVP? That's where I get hung up on AD. You're right. He's an awesome player. The numbers are going to be huge. The Lakers are going to win a lot of games. But you talked about the narrative. I'm sorry, it's still there. LeBron, I think, would still be considered, and who knows, he's getting up there in years, but he never ages, so it doesn't matter, that he's still going to be the best player on the Lakers. So then can you wrap your head around the idea of enough voters giving Anthony Davis an MVP? Tass, what's your take on that? Are you siding with Leigh or more with me? I just don't see that happening if LeBron is playing, 75, 80% plus games.
Yeah, LeBron would have to play far fewer games than Anthony Davis for Anthony Davis to win it. Just like last year, LeBron was second in voting, and Anthony Davis didn't even make some people's top 5, which is a little bit nuts, but there's a reason for that. That's because LeBron is LeBron, and he carries all that weight with him, and he said, I don't believe in load management. So that's a bad sign for Anthony Davis's MVP chances. It seems like LeBron's going to play a good amount.
What's your take for our coming back at you there, Leigh, with that? That's it's like, come on, AD can't win if LeBron's playing.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously that's what I considered, but I just sort of feel that this is the year where Anthony Davis becomes the Lakers' statistically better player. I mean, LeBron, look, no one's questioning.
He was last year. He scored more than him last year.
Right, and I almost feel like LeBron is going to want him to get that award as well.
Now that's interesting. That's a fascinating take, because if LeBron starts saying from night one, Anthony Davis, he's an MVP. He should win MVP. Then maybe I can see it happening, but I don't think LeBron's going to do that, first off. I don't think he's going that far. Hey, Defensive Player of the Year? Sure, have that. Go for that. But yeah, if he actually started pumping up AD that much to the media, he's the best player in the game, he deserves MVP, then maybe. But do
you remember how pissed he was last year when he didn't get it?
Then he got second. Yeah, he's deserved more votes, and we debated how many more votes did he think he needed.
It sounds like we're talking about the NBA Finals here. Anthony Davis was in the lead for Finals MVP after the first 2 games, and then LeBron said, "I'll take it. I'll get me another one here real quick." And I agree with you, Skeets and Tass, that if LeBron is going to be playing, I don't know, we got 72 games. If he plays 65, I think he's got a much better chance at MVP than Anthony Davis. It'll just be hard for AD because he's playing alongside LeBron, but I guess he can take solace in the fact that he's still one of the 5 best players in the league, even if he is the second best guy on his team. But I don't know. I'm actually shocked. When I saw Leigh was going to be answering this question first, I thought for sure he was going with the donk, Luka Doncic, as your MVP pick. He's the favorite. He's got massive buzz right now. He's got the LeBron cosign. LeBron said he wanted to start Team LeBron and Luka would be the first guy to wear it. Unfortunately, he got by Michael Jordan instead. These guys are fighting over who's going to be wearing his shoes. I think Luka is the favorite for a reason. Wouldn't be surprising if he averages a triple-double, and when you average a triple-double, you get some MVP votes. I got Luka this year.
So Luka, the one thing I think counts against him, though, again, I just think the Mavericks are going to be sort of battling around to be a 500 team. I really do, especially if Porzingis misses extended time. I think you're right, Doncic could easily average that triple-double. I mean, he almost did last season. He's almost done it in both his seasons. So I can see him even putting up the Russell Westbrook 30-point triple-double and carrying so much of a load and standing out. But I just feel that there's going to be a big gap between the wins that the Lakers have and the wins that the Mavericks have, to the point where it could be potentially 20 games. And I think that's really what's counting against Doncic at the moment. I mean, I hope the Mavericks do well, and I think they're going to be in the playoffs, but I can also sort of see a scenario where it's like Porzingis just can't sort of get himself back, and Doncic just has to carry too much of that load. And even though the numbers look great, the wins aren't there to back it up. So I think he's probably
That's how Russell Westbrook won the MVP.
I know.
30-point triple-double. The other star that was on his team wasn't there. Too much of a load. They barely were above 500. And he still won MVP.
Yeah, I know. He did. But I sort of feel that I think people look at that, though, and think, well, he stat-stuffed his way to getting that triple-double, and we'd never seen that before. And then Russell Westbrook goes out and does it 2 more seasons. If Doncic does it, it's an incredible achievement, no question. But it's not that rare to see it anymore. So I feel the win...
You generally have to be a top, 4 seed to win MVP. Westbrook was a hell of an outlier for sure. But
and I don't know who would have done that before Westbrook. And that's the thing with the Mavs. Where they are right now, I don't see them as a top 4 in the Western Conference.
Right.
If Porzingis comes back and if he's able to get healthy, then changes things. But like I was saying yesterday, I'm a little bit concerned about his durability from Porzingis. So that's why I knocked Doncic down a little bit this year.
Okay. There's 3 guys in that exact category. It's Luka, Steph, and Dame. If they can pull their teams to a 4 seed, without the quote unquote star power around them, they will get a lot of MVP votes.
Yeah.
There. I think those 3 are in the exact same category.
Yeah, before we get your pick here, Tass, the last I saw, I found one of the odds for MVP pick. Donk, as Trey said, at the top of the leaderboard, plus 375 I last saw. Giannis, plus 500. I'm with you, Leigh. I don't think there's any chance in the world that Giannis goes back to back to back. I just don't see it happening. I mean, the media just gets tired of voting for the same guy too, and you're right, his numbers will probably be identical. Bucks might have the best record still in the East or in the league, and I don't think it's going to matter. Curry then at plus 850, LeBron plus 900, AD plus 900, Harden plus 1300, Durant plus 1500, and then Lillard plus 2000, and then obviously many more guys after that. So who are you then going with, Tass? Are you going with one of those guys? Are you picking either a Warriors as a top 3 seed or a Blazers as a top 3 seed, or a Donk as a top, or are you going somewhere else? Who you got for an MVP?
I think the conditions are perfect for Kevin Durant to win it. It's just too perfect. First, like Anthony Davis, he's awesome. And I think we forget that Kevin Durant is probably the second best player of this era. Besides LeBron, he's right up there. Him and Steph, I would put right up there in that conversation. And it is easy to forget. We're too dumb to remember 18 months ago, because we don't feel it every day. As media members, as voters, I know we don't vote, but the people who vote, I think, are in the same boat as us. They haven't seen Kevin Durant in such a long period of time. That absence it plays in his favor. I think they'll just see him out there on the floor again. One of the better players of this era, and he's going to work his butt off to try and do it. I think one thing we know about Kevin Durant is he loves basketball. He hasn't been able to pick up a ball in 18 months in an NBA game. I think he's going to play a ton, and I think the situation in Brooklyn is perfect for him. He's playing for a coach who was his personal coach in Golden State, so he knows that the guy that he's playing for wants what's best for him. They're in each other's corner. He left that Golden State situation because he didn't feel like he was appreciated, didn't feel like he was given that sort of acknowledgement as one of the best. He just didn't feel right. So now I think he's going to go for it, and it just feels like media members are going to appreciate this 32-year-old guy who I was a little worried, as I said in preview number 1, watching him. I don't like when we get to the older era of a player's career, but Kevin Durant just Kevin Durant. He hasn't changed one bit, and he's going to go after it. And I don't think Kyrie's going to take any votes off him. I think it's pretty clear that KD is the number 1 guy, and there's just, Giannis, you guys have said it all, Dame, Luka, Steph, they're all up there. Harden is kind of disqualified himself by not showing up to camp.
Harden would be tough right now, but
he was up there. I received an email 2 days ago that showed the online odds. He was number 1 on my pick. I'm not sure why he was up there. It was him and Luka right there. And in fantasy, it's Harden, it's Luka who are 1-2, and then Giannis. But the storyline it's just not there for Harden. I don't think it's there for Giannis, but I think KD conditions are perfect. You can write that story pretty well.
Oh, I would add to that Durant's chances of winning MVP is he gets twice the amount of games versus Eastern Conference teams than he normally does now, right? Like, there's a lot of crappy Eastern Conference teams, let's be honest here. And,
more than the West, for sure.
He would only get to see them twice a year for the most part when he's playing in the West, and he's going to get to see them more often. So, yeah, I can see it with KD, and it just depends how often how many games he plays. Do they slow play it because he's coming back from injury? Maybe he doesn't play a ton of games. I'm sort of with you, Tess. I think he is actually, gonna try and play a lot of these games, so I like his chances. My pick, I feel like I got a lot of pressure with this pick, by the way, guys. I've successfully predicted the MVP winner in 3 out of the last 4 seasons on our show. I went back to make sure that was true, and it is. In 16-17, I just rode that KD leaving Westbrook narrative, and I took Russell Westbrook, and so he won, and that was a controversial one for sure. In 2018-19, I jumped on the Giannis train for the first time, and he got his first one. And then last season, I'm up in Toronto with JD podcasting in some weird Airbnb, and I had in my notes, I was ready to take Joel Embiid, but you, Tass and Trey, you beat me to the punch. Both of you took Embiid to win MVP last year, and I was like, I can't have 3 of us taking the same guy, so I just pivoted right on the spot and went with Giannis back to back, and that ended up working out. And then in 17-18, I just had the wrong James. I went with LeBron instead of Harden, so close enough. So again, a lot of pressure here. I feel like I'm on a run. I'm going Damian Lillard. I'm glad you threw him in there, Tass. I am banking on in order for him to win this on the Blazers being a top 4, maybe even top 3 seed in the West. I'm excited about them. Again, I said it on part 1. I just forgot how dominant his numbers were. Dame's were. Not, you remember the bubble moments, but man, all season long, 30 points per game. He does that, and they win a bunch of games. He's also super well liked. Ben Golliver pointing it out in his newsletter starring Lee Ellis out of nowhere, that Dame is, maybe the most media-friendly superstar. That helps. That can help with the voters. So I'm going to go with Lillard there from a narrative standpoint. Monster numbers, but I'm banking on the Blazers winning a ton of games. And like you said, Tass, that same goes for Luka, same goes for Curry. If they shock a lot of people and are way, way up there in the West, they're going to get a lot of votes.
I like the media angle. I don't know how much it really plays into it at the end when media members are looking at the stats and they see, Giannis just kicked friggin' ass. Do I like him? Have I sat down with him for a one-on-one? I'm not sure how much it plays, but it's fun for us to speculate at the beginning of the year. I think that's something that KD has in his corner as well. He's going to look like a saint playing next to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, he's going to take all the junk. We've already seen it. He's playing chess. KD's playing checkers. No, he's not. That analogy doesn't work, and I never liked that analogy. When a guy's thinking at another level, he's playing chess. These other dudes are playing checkers. Checkers is fun. But
it's much easier.
Yeah, of course. Kids can play checkers. I get it. Kids can play chess.
Kids can play chess.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think you guys are playing chess a little bit here with Damian Lillard. This is the guy that gets snubbed every single vote. Yeah. Every year he's getting snubbed on votes. He could put up MVP numbers and finish 3rd very easily. I think his case and Doncic's case as well is the same thing, right? You got to win a lot of games and you got to put up those monster numbers as the leader. They're both on teams that, if everything breaks right, maybe they make a conference finals. But they're not necessarily a contender, I wouldn't think, but we shall see how it plays out. I also don't know that the Blazers got a whole lot better. I really like the moves they made, but I don't know if that puts them really in the upper echelon of the Western Conference, and that's what you guys are telling me is going to matter with the dunk. So we shall see